Okay, so hey hi guys, hello and welcome to my lecture 23. And into this particular lecture, we are going to understand the basic concept of git branching, what git branching is all about, and how branches are made from one branches, what do they contain, and what is their structure. Okay, so please try to understand with the help of this example, and I won't be taking much time. I want this lecture to be a very short lecture because there is nothing much in order to understand, right? So let's say this is your master branch that has been created over here. Okay, so initially let's say your master branch was containing a code of Java written over here. So once you create a branch from master branch, then that branch will contain all the contents of the master branch. Okay, so if a branch is created from the master branch, and if the master branch was containing 15 lines of code of Java, then your branch that you created like B1 will also contain Java with 15 lines of code. Okay, let's say your master branch, somebody went ahead and added, apart from 15 lines of Java code, somebody went ahead and added 15 lines of C++ code as well. Okay, so after that, what would happen? Let's say if someone creates a branch B1 at some point of time for the very first time, so that person would be having a code of 15 lines of Java plus C++ 15 lines of code. Okay, and after that, once that particular person or developer again adds his own code, let's say he wants to add some code onto the Ruby language, right? So he can go ahead and add it, right? So once that is done, again, if a branch is created from this particular branch, that is B2 is created from B1, then it will contain the same old. It will be working onto the same old fashion, or same old, logic. Like it will be containing the code of Java, 15 lines of code, C++ plus Ruby as well. Okay, and now this, let's assume that this particular person or developer wants to write some piece of code onto the Go language. You can go ahead and add it. Okay, and the same stuff goes like this. If a person, let's say, wants to write some code, adds his code into the Python language. So if that person creates a branch B3 from B2, then there would be a code of Java, there would be a code of C++, there would be a code of Ruby, there would be a code of Go language as well. So all the contents remain if you create a new branch, right? Until unless you add something new, like Ruby was added over here, Go was added over here, and Python was going to be added over here, right? So this was the whole concept of branching, and I'll quickly make you guys understand with the help of a very simple example. For that, you need to understand this particular structure. Let's say there is a party event going on into onto a high school. Let's say there is a high school party event, onto any of the uh, uh, I mean countries, right? So let's try to assume that Rahul has got a particular friend named as Anjali, and Anjali is committed with Rahul, right? Why I'm saying that? Because I already created a file named as ANJLI, and I already committed it. So this thing won't be shown if I create a branch from this particular master branch. So I do just control L. What is my branch? I want to the master branch, right? So if I create a particular branch from this master branch, I'll be able to see the contents what they were onto the master branch. As I told you guys earlier onto this particular example, if it was containing code of Java plus C++, if I create a branch B1, then I would be able to see the code of Java plus C++ as well, right? So this is one thing that you are going to see over here. But the second most important thing for which I created this particular example is that, let's say, first try to understand this particular example, what is going on. Let's say Rahul comes with her friend, and the name of her friend is Anjali, right? And Anjali is committed with Rahul, Rahul is committed with Anjali. So it means that neither Rahul is available for anyone, neither she is available for anyone, right? They cannot get into relationship with anyone because they already are committed, right? So it's okay. They are on to master branch, and they have gone to a party event, and these people have also come along. But in the case of Jason and Catherine, and the case of John and Melissa are a little bit different. They are not in a particular any sort of relationship, neither they are very good friends. They are just hangout kind of friends, you know. And It may happen that Catherine may get, liked by John, or Melissa may get liked by Jason, because at this particular point of time both are free. They have, although they have come onto pair onto for this particular party event, but they are available for other people as well. Let's say there another guy, yeah, who has come as a single onto this particular organization. His name is, let's say, Raj, right? So it may happen that, Raj may like Catherine, or Melissa may like Raj as well. So it may happen. So this kind of possibilities may occur. So what I'm trying to say it over here at this point of time is that, let's say if Jason is a branch, John is a branch, and Raj is a branch, right? Until and unless your files are added and committed to your branch, they would be available for everyone, right? So Catherine is available for Raj, Melissa is available for Raj. Similarly, Catherine is available for John, and Melissa is available for Jason, right? So because these files are not added and committed to this particular branch, they would be available. And how? I am going to show you the demo for that, right? So let's quickly create a branch from our master branch. So I'm going to create a branch named as John, as mentioned in the example. Let's first create Jason because it is mentioned in the example. I created a branch Jason, right? And now I'm going to check out, I'm going to switch to this particular branch. So as I told you earlier that, although although she has been committed, you won't be able to add them, but the contents would be available for everyone, right? So if I do ls over here, Jason is still able to see Anjali, although she is committed, but he won't be able to add her because git status on do it, it will say nothing to commit, working tree clean. So what he said that, what he assumed that, since Anjali is committed to Rahul, I'll bring my own friend. So let's create her friend, and the name of her friend is Catherine, Catharine, right? So he created a particular friend named as Catherine, and then onto the branch on which we are onto a Jason branch. So now Jason is with Catherine, right? Okay, and now we are going to create another branch from Jason, and this time it will be John. So git branch John. If I do git checkout John, currently now I am onto my John branch. So it means that John would be able to see Catherine as well because Catherine is available, right? I do ls see. So Catherine is available because she is neither committed to Jason at this particular point of time, nor she is committed to John, right? Let's say John decided to come with Melissa as well. So let's create a file over here, touch Melissa, and do ls. So, so the concept is now getting a little bit clearer at this particular point of time. So what is happening, guys? Again, I'll do Control L. Let's check the branch. Let's go to again start from the initial git checkout master, right? Even for your master branch, even for Rahul, who has already made a decision in order to commit with Anjali, he is able to see Catherine and Melissa, right? Because they are even not committed to Jason, they are not committed to Raj, they are not committed to Rahul, so they are free. They are available at this particular point of time to get into a particular sort of relationship or any other thing, right? So I'm not going into that. So just in order to make you guys understand, this is the reason why I've taken this example, because it becomes easier to to get through it, right? So onto my master branch, there are three particular files. Anjali is already committed because I did it already in order before coming to this particular lecture. And there were two files. Catherine was created onto JSON, but still it is available uh, onto the master branch, right? Why? Because they have neither been added nor committed. Melissa was created with John, that is on John branch, right? But still Melissa is available and Catherine is also available. Similarly, if you do git checkout, if you go to the John, the same thing will happen. Catherine and Melissa. And similarly, if you go to Jason branch and you do ls, still even Jason branch, Catherine, Melissa, everyone is available for everyone at this particular point of time. All these, both Catherine and Melissa, because they are not committed. So until and unless, this is what I was trying to say over here. Until and unless the changes are committed, they would be available or they would be visible on each and every branch. But once they are added and committed, they won't be available. In the same your in your normal life, how it goes like if someone is committed to someone other, they won't be available. Why? Let me show you. What is my branch right now? I want to my Jason branch, right? So Jason should be able to add Catherine, Melissa, and Anjali because it is being shown over here, right? But if I do git status over here, he can only add either Catherine into his life, or he can only add Melissa into his life or that particular file if I talk in terms of git and all, right? Why he cannot add this particular file? Because it has already been committed onto this particular branch by Rahul or by the master branch, right? So this file won't be available for anyone. Similarly, these two files are available, right? And these are available for Jason as well. If Jason goes ahead and checks his status, what is the status of Jason, like git status, he can see that he can add both of them onto the repo, right, onto the local repository. So this was all what I was trying to say, that but and another catch over here is that one who gets to add them first. Let's say although Catherine is available and Melissa file is also available, right? But let's say if John goes ahead and adds these two files and commits them, then they both would be committed with John. It might happen into your normal life. One who goes first and approaches first, the thing gets attached to that particular person. It happens sometimes, right? So the same phenomena goes over here as well. If onto the particular branch, let's say I am onto my branch JSON, and I can add, or I have the capability to add these two files, that is Catherine and Melissa, right? But let's say I check out over here to this branch to John. Let's say John does not have any patience, right? And he wants both of them. He just checked his status. There is no one in his life, and he just checked that he can add both of them, right? So what he decided to do, he said that I'll add both of them into my life or into my repository, right? Or onto my local repository. What I'm trying to say, please don't get confused. It is a very very simple kind of phenomena. So if I do ls over here, I do git add. First he said I would like to have Catherine onto my life, and then he said I would also like to add Melissa as well. ls, right? So he added everyone, both of them, right? And after that, after adding them, the next step which he does is that he makes both of them committed. So git commit hyphen n, let's say Catherine and Melissa both committed to John. These might have been files. Don't think them. Don't do not think in terms of girls. You can also think them in different in terms of your. This might have been your Ruby code. This might have been your Java code, and they are both committed to your particular branch, right? Let's say Gmail branch or any other thing, right? If I do it over here, now something would change, which means that once they have been committed, they won't be available for getting added by any other person, right? So coming back to this particular diagram, since Anjali was added with Rahul, when he did git status, she was not available neither for Jason, she was neither available for Raj, and she was neither available for John as well, although they were available because they were neither added and committed. But now what John has did, he has added Melissa and Catherine as well. So which means that for Jason, I mean, this guy is very, I mean, out of luck, right? He won't be able to add anyone, neither Catherine, neither Melissa. So let's check out and see what's going on. So what is my branch over here at this point of time? It's John. Get checkout Jason, and do ls. See, gone. So the person who went ahead, who first added, who first committed, so those files got attached onto that particular branch with that particular branch, right? So now they won't be available for any other one. So this is what the meaning of commit, which I was trying to make you guys understand that concept. Once you commit, that things becomes a part of your particular branch, and so that, and since if you have committed your Ruby code over here, it means that this code now won't be available for neither for master branch, neither for another branch, neither for this branch. But if you have not committed, if you have not added, this would be available for this person, this would be available for this person, and any of them can go ahead and add them. Like the case of unlucky Jason, I think he has, and nothing. So even so this time he was late in his life, and if it does get status, it says that you do not have anything to commit. Both are gone, right? Both Melissa and both, and the another one, I don't remember the name, the Catherine, both have gone with Jason. Let's check the status of Jason as well. Git check out Jason, sorry, John, ls. See, in case of John, it is showing three files, and in case of Jason, it's just showing one file, and that file, that which he cannot even commit because it is already committed with your master branch. So guys, this was all about this particular lecture. I hope you guys have enjoyed this particular lecture, because it was very simple, it was very easy, and what we tried to do is that, the only thing we tried to make you guys understand was that if you write a particular piece of code onto a particular branch, that remains to that not only remains visible to that particular branch, that remains available to each and every branch like John, Jason, and Raj. But the branch who first goes ahead and commits it, then after that it won't be available. In the same fashion in which I showed you that there was a branch named as John, and he committed both the files Catherine and Melissa, and Jason was left empty handed. So this is how it works. I would request you guys to go ahead and practice a lot onto this particular stuff, because it is confusing, and it may happen that you tend to forget these basic concepts. But I hope I made myself and made my concept clear. Okay. So thank you for your time, and thank you for the patience. Thanks a lot.